Now that Marco Rubio will be leaving the Senate, he will, of course, be confirmed as the Secretary of State. Even some Democrats have already signaled their willingness. But anyway, getting Marco Rubio out of the Senate leaves the door wide open for somebody else to claim the mantle of the dumbest U.S. senator. And when I had brought this up a couple weeks ago, I already told you who it was going to be. And this week, or this past week, I should say, that individual confirmed my belief that they will now hold the mantle of the dumbest person in the U.S. Senate. And it's, of course, none other than Alabama Senator and former football coach Tommy Tuberville. During a conversation in the halls of the Senate with CNN's Manu Raju, Tommy Tuberville said that it is in fact not the job of Republican senators to vet Donald Trump's horrible nominees for his cabinet. Take a look at Tuberville, who is completely incoherent during this whole thing, explaining what he means. Here he is.
Say that we're a better vetter and picker of people than Donald Trump.
Isn't that you're advising consent? That's your job.
Advising consent, but that's more the Democrats.
But don't you think both sides should do the vetting?
Well, yeah, to some degree. I mean, but we have to be convinced. I mean, they should do all the background work. They should go after our nominees. I've not heard very little from the left. Donald Trump did all the vetting they needed to do on Pete Hegseth, and I just can't believe we even have people on our side that are saying, well, I've got to look at this, got to look at that. What they're doing is they're throwing rocks at Donald Trump. They're not throwing them at Pete Hegseth. They're throwing them at Donald Trump because they're saying, well, we don't believe you did the right vetting and we don't believe he can do the job. Wait a minute. That's not our job to do that. That's the Democrats.
So if you're like me, you're a little confused, right? You're not quite sure what the hell exactly Tommy Tuberville's even saying there. Because at first he's like, listen, it's not our job. And then Manu Raju's like, no, dude, it is literally your job. Advise and consent. This is part of your job to vet these very horrible people that Trump is picking. And then Tuberville is like, yeah, I mean, but not us. It's the Democrats should be doing that. It's like, okay, the opposition party, you want them to do the vetting. Sure, I get that. It's stupid. It's not what the rules actually say, but I can understand that concept. But then he's like, but even though they should be the ones doing it, they also shouldn't do it because it's just them attacking Trump's people. So he wants the Democrats to do it, but the Democrats also can't and should not do it. And Republicans can't do it, even though the Constitution says that it is part of the job of everybody, regardless of political party. Again, very confusing, but I would expect nothing less from the dumbest member of the United States Senate. And furthermore, I can't help but watch that video and feel like that's a Coors Light in his hand. I know it's not. Probably. I think it's an energy drink based on the shape of the can there, but the silverness of it, I don't know. When I first saw it, my first thought was like, are you drinking a beer right now? Because at this point, nothing would surprise me. Again, I do think it's an energy drink, but either way, just a funny thing that I noticed. I don't know if you felt the same way, but it's a weird thing. And of course, if he were drinking at the time, that would at least explain why he was so incoherent. In fact, I'd almost feel better if Tuberville had, slung back a few before he gave that interview, because then at least you could be like, well, he was just drunk. But he's not. He's stone cold sober, saying these very stupid things, having to have his job explained to him by a CNN reporter. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the senator from the great state of Alabama, who, of course, now is the dumbest senator in the U.S. Senate. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.